Thank you very much, especially because you were calling me Leonardo, and this makes me more famous than I really am. But I really thank you for this opportunity here. I want to share you some challenges, some maybe uncomfortable ideas in this forum. But it's important to exchange minds and information among us in order to have a common objective. As Professor Marullo said, I'm stationed at the Italian Air Force Flight Test Center in Accademia, and therefore, obviously, our core business is flight testing. Despite the name, however, in the last years, past 10 years, the Flight Test Center changed a lot. And since we have always been the center of excellence of the Italian Air Force and the Ministry of Defense in terms of aerospace and aeronautics, we grew up in many fields, and especially in the past few years, we were involved more and more in the development and certification, not only in the entire procurement process, but also for modifying aircraft, testing the modifications, and certifying modification against both military and civil authorities. So, in the meantime, we still are the main technical consulting center for the Ministry of Defense and the Italian Air Force for both procurement and certification. We do participate to operational test requirement issue and all certification processes with Aeronautica, which is the military worthiness authority. Despite our name, we actually are from both sides. We are both who are in charge of the certification and who are in charge of design, develop, and modify, test the modification of the aircraft and helicopters. So, with this introduction, what is my opinion, which is basically my experience, based on my experience. The flight testing is, for us, of course, the last word. Why? But just because it gives you the possibility to really have the evidence that maybe the colleague from NASA has already expressed this thought. And this gives you the data, the evidence of what your aircraft does in reality. Of course, having in the design process, in the development process, you cannot go and modify the aircraft and flight test without any idea of what can happen. And what we see is that, as my colleague this morning was saying, is that virtual prototyping, virtual testing helps you a lot in reducing the risk of flight testing, because you can forecast what are the most critical conditions. So where you can have a problem, or you can go and fly without any problem and make a clearance, give a clearance for flights in a certain angle in which you don't need to monitor your aircraft. So there are some possibilities in growing in virtual testing. However, sometimes, and I want to give you these thoughts, sometimes we are facing with industries that want to show some requirements, some worthiness or certification requirements by simulation. And then this happened to me just a few days ago while I was in for a certification program. And I said, excuse me, well, is your model validated? And they said, yes. Okay, we need to show these up to the maximum altitude and maximum speed of the aircraft. And I said, yes, we validated it. Where did you validate it? They said, at 0 altitude level. So, okay, it's not that easy. to convince the authority that the evidence is still valid over there. And in this case, the answer would be, okay, go and test it up to the altitude where I do need the evidence. And then they say, well, at this point I do the flight test. So, and this is one of the thoughts that I want to share with you. The other point is cost and time. Flight testing is very expensive, no doubt on this. Although for certain organizations like the Italian Airports Flight Test Center, flight testing is the most available one, because we have the aircraft, we have the pilots, we have the fuel, go there and fly. Sometimes we need, it is costly because we need to instrument the aircraft to get to the data that we need. But if we, sometimes we talk about simulation, digital prototyping, we are not talking about things that have no cost. They are for sure sometimes less expensive than flight testing, but they are not at low cost yet. So if you have sometimes if I tell you that 10 hours of a certain flight of a certain aircraft can cost and can cost a certain amount of money, let's say 500,000 euros. And those 500,000 euros for us are more available than some other 500,000 euros to be spent in some simulation technologies that we do not have yet. So sometimes it's easier to and less expensive to have a real flight test than to buy the simulation technology, to build the model, all the engineering hours that you need to build the model, to validate the model, and to do the flight test to validate that model. So that's one of the big challenges that we have. The third point that I want to share with you is that, yes, we can use certification or simulation for certification in terms of as I said, risk reduction, time reduction, cost reduction. However, is the authority prepared for this? In my mind, the answer is not. If you look at the entire certification in the civilian world, or if you look at all the entire material that you can find in the military world, there is no numbers about the reliability, the representativeness of your simulation tools. So, how good is your simulation? How good must be your simulation? Is 5% enough? Is 10% enough? And you cannot find any numbers and any requirement against this simulation in certification processes. Yes, simulation is accepted, however, certification, the flight test must validate the simulation, but even in the validation process, you validate the model, and many times you say, yes, the simulation was very close to flight test data. Okay, how much? How close was it? And is it real, is it acceptable to you? And sometimes you say, I validated the model at 5,000 feet. Okay, you validated it. Now, what happens at 20,000 feet? Was the model at 5,000 feet was good by 5%. Then at 20,000 feet, what happens? It's good by 20%. Is that enough? I don't know. A person does not think that this is still enough. So, thank you very much.